Mr. McClintock, I have great respect for you and fondness for you and regard for you. For that reason, I will not say what I think about your statement today. It was not prime McClintock. But this hearing, and I will give credit to Fielding Mellish, who originally said this. Fielding Mellish said, in essence, this hearing is a travesty. It's a travesty of a mockery, of a sham, of a mockery, of two mockeries of a sham. And that's what this hearing is. Fielding Mellish said it many years ago. He said it well. I'm amazed at what we've been talking about today. But I have an amendment at the desk, and that's more pertinent, I think.
Clerk will report the amendment. The gentleman from Arizona reserves a point of order.
Amendment to the amendment in the nature of a substitute to the committee report for the resolution recommending that the House of Representatives.
Without objection, the amendment will be considered as read. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Tennessee for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This amendment would place at page 4 between the first and second paragraphs the following language and facts. There are serious concerns about the audio files that may be manipulated for political purposes. They want audio files. They don't need transcripts. They want Notably, in recent months, Republicans have repeatedly circulated deceptively manipulated, cheap, fake videos targeting President Biden. For example, after President Biden appeared at a D-Day commemoration ceremony in France, where I and several people from this, I think from this committee were there, but lots of people from Congress, they showed social media users circulated deceptively edited video that appeared to show President Biden attempting to sit in a chair that did not exist. However, the full video of the event shows there's a chair behind Mr. Biden, which he was promptly sat down in. On June 13th, the Republican National Committee's RNC research account, which is a fallacious name, I guess, a misappropriated name because it's not research, tweeted a deceptively edited video that appeared to show President Biden wandering off following a paratrooper demonstration during the annual Group of Seven summit in Italy. However, the full unedited video shows the president walking toward the group of paratroopers who just landed, giving them a 2 thumbs up commendation. Judiciary Republicans have even circulated their own misleading clips on social media in recent weeks. On June 18th, the official House Judiciary GOP account falsely claimed that Biden fell asleep during a performance by Andrea Bocelli at the G7 summit. I'm sure many other people would have fallen asleep as well, and maybe I would have as well, but the full video shows the president just briefly closed his eyes while listening to Bocelli sing. These and other examples create serious reason to be concerned about how Republicans and others might use highly personal information they are seeking today. There is no need for these audio tapes. We've had the Republican-appointed Mr. Hur come in and say there was no crime committed. And the fact that he said that, and he said it was because a sympathetic figure was shown by President Biden, and the jury probably wouldn't have convicted him, that's still, you're not convicted and you haven't done anything if the jury doesn't find you guilty. There has to be guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, and Mr. Hur, a Republican, whom Mr. Garland kept on as the prosecutor here, the investigator, said that he didn't believe they could find and prove a case. That's what a prosecutor does, and Mr. Garland did the right thing by keeping politics out of it, and Mr. Hur did the right thing by doing what he thought was the right thing as an attorney. And here we are, and we're comparing Mr. Biden's 1 or 2 records that he had and immediately turned over to the federal government to Mr. Trump and hundreds of records stored in his bathroom and which he refused to turn over even after subpoenas, and they had to go in and get them. And then he claimed that the FBI was trying to kill him. That the FBI was trying to kill him. The FBI was just given instructions, as all FBI agents are, when you're executing a warrant, to not kill somebody. The limits of deadly force, the same limits they were told about when they went in to serve and find President Biden. So, it's just absurd, and that's why Mr. Smith is asking for some type of a judicial declaration to protect FBI officers from being subject to harassment and maybe targeting because some crazy person that thinks that Mr. Trump's life was endangered when it wasn't, of course. They knew he wasn't even going to be at Mar-a-Lago. He was going to be at somewhere else. He was in Bedminster or wherever, visiting his wife's grave, which gives them a tax deduction in perpetuity on the golf course. Slick move that was. To compare any effort to impeach the Biden family for what President Trump did by telling Zelensky, you give me the goods on Hunter Biden and I'll give you the weapons. I mean, that's impeachable and should have been. He just didn't have a jury that was politically willing to face the facts. And the same thing for trying to overthrow the government in the second impeachment trial, when about 7 or 8 or 9 Republicans did vote for conviction, but not the 16 that were necessary. And even Mr. McConnell, who said he'd done wrong, didn't have the guts to vote the truth. So regardless of that, Fielding Mellish is here with us today, and this is a travesty of a mockery of a sham, of a mockery of a, et cetera. I yield back.